I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senator Patty Murray said we need an immigration system that works during a Senate Appropriations hearing on Wednesday. She specifically asked Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas about the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services backlog. This comes as a new rule aims to prevent individuals from being forced to leave their jobs because of long USCIS processing delays. Here's the exchange.
Senator Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Secretary Mayorkas. Good
morning.
To see you. In recent years, Congress has appropriated substantial funding to reduce the backlogs at USCIS. Those backlogs can mean a work authorization does not get renewed in time and an applicant falls out of status, and it could mean losing a job and being at risk of deportation just because of bureaucratic delays. We need an immigration system that works. So how has USCIS used that funding to reduce the backlog?
Senator, your question goes to a very important and significant challenge that we are encountering. And it's not just that we inherited a broken immigration system, but we inherited a broken immigration system that was also dismantled. And the agency responsible for work authorizations, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, was on the brink of bankruptcy. And it is funded, as you well know, and we have discussed in the past, through fee rules. And we are working on a fee rule to fund that agency. In addition, the agency just announced the promulgation of a rule to extend work authorization precisely for the reason that you have identified. We are also, of course, requesting appropriated dollars to assist us in working through the backlog, additional dollars in the fiscal year 2023 President's budget.
Yeah, I saw that and I appreciate it. And what strategies are in place to make sure that that funding is used effectively to reduce those backlogs?
It's a multi-pronged approach, Senator Murray. It is additional personnel, it is processing efficiency, and it is efforts like the rule that is being promulgated to provide relief so that there isn't a gap in individuals' ability to continue to work when the law so permits them.
Okay. And I was really glad to see the administration request less funding for detention beds in this budget. This is a step in the right direction, and I want to make sure we're doing everything we can to fix our broken immigration system. But I continue to hear that immigrants in detention centers are unable to have confidential conversations with their lawyers, send requested documents in a timely manner, or even have access to a functioning phone. Among the existing issues at detention centers, the lack of access to counsel really is unacceptable. And I wanted to ask you today, how is the department making sure that individuals in detention centers have access to counsel?
Senator Murray, I've addressed this issue as recently as earlier this week. First, allow me to say that the conditions in detention facility, compliance with our standards of detention, has been an area of focus under this administration. And in fact, we have closed or curtailed the operations of facilities that have been consistent failures in adhering to our system. I spoke earlier this week with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, as well as Immigration and Customs Enforcement, about delivering greater access to counsel for people in facilities, how we can provide a greater level of space for private consultations, how we can have greater connectivity, whether through telephone or internet. We are looking at all of the options with great urgency.
Okay, I appreciate that. And finally, let me just turn to the asylum process. We need to be doing everything we can to reduce barriers to access, especially for people in more rural areas. One way to do that for people in my home state of Washington would be to conduct the asylum interviews in USCIS's field offices. Have you considered having asylum officers travel to field offices to conduct those interviews?
Senator, I will get back to you with respect to that particular proposal. I know that we are looking at a number of different ways of enhancing the efficiency of the asylum system. The asylum officer rule that we promulgated and which will go into effect at the end of this month is one important step. I will follow up. The Asylum Officer Corps has, of course, over the last year or so struggled given the COVID restrictions. Yeah. But I will need to get back to you on that particular
If you could
proposal.
find out for me and see if there's any barriers that prevent the department from doing that, I think that would be a great relief to a lot of folks.
Thank you, Senator. I
Thank
will.
you. Thank you very much.